Hello, hello, hello. It's me. I think my stream notifications are broken, so that's good. I'm also not tracking, so hold on. With one of these. There we go. It's as easy as that. And then switch this thing, and there we go. We'll peek behind the curtain, how things work. So there's a new beta of Godot 3.4, which is what I try to use. August 6th. Wait, hold on. Is that right? No, there's a release candidate. Why am I using one of the betas? All right, release candidate 3. Yeah, I looked at the date, thought that looked wrong, and as it turns out, it was wrong. What do you know? Alright, so just give me the download. Give me the mono download. Probably. Still a bit unsure as if... I think I want to use mono. I do need to give it a test and see if it actually works. It's like a web export. That's one thing I keep stalling on. I don't know why. It is fairly important if I actually want to use it. We'll hit it with the help just to make sure the bot still works. And also to get another thing to chat. Alright, so show in folder. We'll grab the newest Godot stuff. So 7-zip, extract 2, whatever the heck this is. Give me this. Don't look at this. I don't know what this file is. And then we'll drop it to apps. There we go. So say goodbye to release candidate 1. Now we're on release candidate 3. Wow. Then I just have a bunch of other release candidates installed for whatever reason. Okay. So GitHub game off. 2021. Let's do this. Don't remember where I left off, but I had a few ideas on what I wanted to do. So the theme of the GitHub game off this year, I don't think I even submitted anything last year, but I do have a month, so it's not as strenuous as doing like a Ludum Dare. Need to just be on constant crunch. Although I also need to figure out why is my bot not working? Are there any logs? I really should like have it logged to a file instead of just not doing anything. It's kind of a pain. Hold on. So this is the bot that's currently running in chat. Just running it on Replit. Because they just give you containers, which is nice. But I do pay for a slightly more expensive plan. I pay for the hacker plan. I think it's well worth it. I have used their services a fair amount, so it's okay. All right, don't forget to turn on this thing. All right. So what's going on here? So there's our runner. We do all of this stuff. Uh-huh. I really should like open up a WebSocket port so that I can connect to it using an environment variable as a password. Let's see, most of these are not really implemented. Like I don't think model is used at all. Common, it's really only common, Discord, and Twitch. And then maybe utils. Yeah, I am using a few utils. Let me see, Twitch bot. What does Twitch bot have inside of it? Because I guess it's just not gonna give me any logs, which is really cool. A private message, yeah. So these are all callbacks. That's okay. Here's our Helix client. Then, boom, boom. I know that this was a fairly big change. I kinda avoiding doing too much, doing too many changes in Replit though, because that can be kind of dangerous. This is completely unrelated, but I guess I can just do a a manual override. Broke my bot. The usual. There we go. Beautiful. No one's ever seen a going live notification as good as this one. Huzzah. And there you have it. So if length of this is 0, if the length of, okay, hold on. Some of the logic here is kind of messed up. So what we do here, so this is how we keep our Go routine just running infinitely, is that we have an infinite for loop, and then we select, which causes us to pause and wait for inputs. So here we have just the quit signal, which is, or I guess not the quit signal, but a quit channel. And so we only ever quit when I press Control-C, and then Control-C causes this to propagate down across all services. So the Twitch bot and Discord bot both listen for the quit channel. And then once they receive that, then they exit, thus closing all routines and allowing us to, you know, do all the requisite shutdown stuff. Hello, Feldy. Hello. Seems like I was talking to you just a few minutes ago. Imagine that. I hope your reverse engineering of the protocol goes well. Let's see. I think you should ask though, even if it does get awkward and they say no. I mean, you are back where you started, more or less. I guess now you're on their no-fly list, I guess, if you ask and they don't want to give you the protocol. But it's for a good cause though, right? If you tell them that you're trying to, you know, trying to port it to a lower power device, that might be kind of cool. What I'm doing right now is my Twitch bot kind of broke. Everything about it works more or less, right? So all the requisite commands, it still listens, it still responds. Even has a rate limiter built into it by yours truly. But for some reason, the polling system. Oh, you know what? Is it because of this? I really hope it's not because of this. I actually don't know how this works. Now that I'm looking at this again, after getting distracted, so this is an infinite loop. This waits until it selects a signal. However, or I guess not a signal, but in Godot terms, it's a signal, right? It's asynchronous, go routine, quit channel. That comes from runner. Runner, we're listening for an exit signal. Hooray. Actually, do I ever construct the exit signal? Am I dumb? No, I do. Yeah, okay. So I do construct the exit signal. We set it, and then we pass it along so it propagates. So we just pass along the reference, I think. Or is it a value? I don't really know how channels work. I think channels are just special in Go. So I don't think you can have a pointer to a channel, so that's probably okay. Now here, this is where this part is a bit weird, because select pauses until something comes along the channel. So we wait until we hit the exit signal, where the exit signal is signal interrupt, signal terminate, or just an OS interrupt. And of course, with how I usually run the bot, I don't actually have access to sigint or sigterm, at least in my development environments, since git bash, my chosen terminal, doesn't really work, as you might expect, right? Because git bash is built on top of, I think it's built on top of CMD, and therefore it doesn't actually have access to Windows syscalls. Something I learned. So anything syscall based in git bash doesn't work. Well, it does work, it just has to be propagated by CMD, which a lot of times it's not. So if you wanna intercept input, you can't. I think there's probably packages to get around that use the Windows API instead, but so this looks good. This looks good. We propagated. And then we also have channels. Yeah. So this is how we exit this infinite loop, by waiting for our exit signal. This one, I guess what happens here? Does this pull as fast as possible? And then maybe it doesn't fire appropriately? That could be tough. That could be tough. Right, because we wait until something that comes along this channel, or we default, and then we sleep for a little bit. Presumably this blocks the rest of this Go routine as well. So we block for 1 minute. Assuming that this is how it works. Because assuming this is how this works, then is offline counter max, which is 10, I believe, yeah. So if it's greater than 10, then we are able to switch. We're no longer live. Then we also reset this counter. We do a thing with the Helix clients. Helix client is set up with an app access token, which is slightly different. I haven't actually tested this yet, so I have no idea if it actually works. I think it does though, maybe. Maybe it doesn't. Like, doesn't this refresh token? Oh, actually, no, I'm not even using the Helix client. I'm just sending a raw HTTP request. I'm not using the Helix client package, or the Helix Golang package. Set the token, boom. Error is not nil. Then what I actually kind of do here is I send a message to Discord. To my Discord. And then I don't remember how this is sent over to Discord to notify me, but I don't think I've been notified on Discord either, so. So I'm thinking it's either a logic error or I'm misunderstanding how this works. So then if the length of the response of data streams is 0, then we are probably offline. Otherwise, if there are streams, and I should be the only stream, by the way, that's returned from Team UN. Although, I guess if you were to create another channel called like Team UN with like a few extra characters, it might break my bot. But then you would also have to be live as well. Alright, but if we're not live, which means that we're here, we're not live and we are switchable. I don't remember how we ever get to... I feel like is switchable actually isn't doing anything, but that's okay. Well, I'm thinking about it. We send data. We send some stream notification stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's broken. I'll have to test this later. Yeah. It used to work. It was so super unreliable, but it used to work. Anyways, here's the idea for the GitHub game off. So let me open up the page really quick. GitHub game off 2021. It's pretty big. It's pretty big. It's also a month-long thing. I'm mostly doing it so I can keep myself motivated and also be able to, you know, finish a game. Give myself something to work on. So the theme for this year's game off is bug. So I have a few ideas. The idea that I'm going with is, what if you, player, are playing a game that's more or less self-aware? It's not really self-aware, but it's like you are in RPG world and people know that they are, I guess, kind of in an RPG, JRPG-esque kind of thing. So do your requisites, you know, create your character, blah, blah, blah. Then you run into an error, and then, oh no, we're not able to properly create your character. So you are just a null value. Hooray, but we'll still let you play the game. And that's pretty much it. Right, so if you're a null value, then people don't, I guess, know who you are. You know, hello, blah, blah, blah. And so I think there's some cool... It's not really gameplay stuff, but I guess you could do some gameplay stuff as well. And that's actually a lie, but I'm just not saying it out loud for now. At least until it's further along, or at least I get around to implementing all the stuff I want to implement. But I think there's some cool stuff you could do around, you know, not being recognized, like intentionally not being recognized by certain characters in the world. So that's what we're going to be doing. So here's our sprite. Decided to go with very Pokemon style sprites. So I should actually have a link to that somewhere. I can find it later. But you know what? No, I shouldn't. I should find it now before I lose it. Do I still have this open somewhere? Hit me with the Control H. Oh no, it's my browsing history. How scandalous. So 2-bit character generator. Yeah. So I'll need to keep this as one of the things I credit later, as one of the tools I used. But there we go. I'll just drop it in the chat so I can grab it later. Boom. Some itch.io thing. Randomize, you get a character, so I just went with the defaults. Defaults, and then I'll like modify it myself. So I think this should have a few sprite positions that just kind of work, right? So boom, boom, open. Yeah, there was that thing, base overworld unit. So this is the base unit, slightly recolored. How nice. Well, yeah, slightly recolored to fit with this, the low spec 500 color palette. Because I think, adjust swatch. Yeah, this isn't actually the color black. This is a very, very dark blue. Because actually using the color black is for scrubs. There we go. Might change the color palette later as well. So we can have palette swapping. That might be kind of cool. Because I already have other palettes, and I have written something already to facilitate this. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I will just limit it to 4 colors, and that'll make it really easy. So new animation. This is idle south. Idle south. It'll just loop. 1 second loop. There's pretty much nothing to animate here. Intentionally. Let's see, we'll do idle east. Oh, hold on. So this one. Well, idle east. Let's delete this really quickly. We'll go to idle south. Go to sprites, and we'll just this. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Let's also set it to points. No, hold on. Length is 0.6. Snap is 0.3. And so this has no impact on the idle animations, but for when we're moving, this will really help. And so also need to remember, go to offsets, flip H. Yeah, flip H is also one that we want to store here. Duplicates or duplicate. So this will be idle east. We'll need to increment the frame. You know what? Welcome to the party. You are now idle north. Idle north. Duplicate. This is idle west, I think. Idle west. Increments. Yeah, and then duplicate idle east. So the only difference here is that we flip H. Yeah, there we go. So now we have our 4 idle animations. Let's go back to idle south, duplicate, and then this is going to be named move south. Okay, frame, that one. And flip H. That looks okay. Does that look okay, actually? Would you want to move to... I think you would want to do that. Now I'm looking at it again. So you want to start by walking. So I guess you'll want to move in like, hold on. let me test something out here. So how fast is this? How fast does this look? It's pretty fast. It's like you're running, actually. I think 0.6 or even like a 0.4 would be okay. I will need to change this to be in increments of 0.05, right? So that we can do something at 0.5 this point in time. So we'll move back to this one. Then we will go to 0.45, duplicate key. This one will need to be, grab this one, duplicate key. Yeah, that looks okay. That looks a lot better, actually. Yeah. Might be a bit fast. So let's figure this out now before we really lock ourselves into something. So, this is 8s, which means that everything is now on 2s. So boom, boom, 2. We'll want to flip H like that. Yeah, okay. So 0.8 snap to a 0.1 increments. So .1 increment, duplicate. So this is move east. Yeah. Yeah. Was slightly confused, but that's okay. 0.2. What else? I think that's good. Yeah, this is the max frame that we have. So we'll slap this in here. This one needs to go back to the idle frame. I think, do I only have 2 frames to pick from? If we're talking about, I guess you only have 2 frames to pick from when you're moving left and right. Yeah? Maybe? Do I have any other frame to pick from? So this is 1 frame. That's it. I could make another frame. But unlike when you're moving up and down, there's nothing to really rotate. Like, no, there's nothing to really flip, right? What I can see here is that I can draw in, I guess, another movement frame for when you're walking. So it would basically just move the hand here to this. So I would just, yeah, I think I could just take this bit even, and then just flip it around. I think that'll work, right? So if I resize this document just to have another movement frame, so I'll resize it to 7 tiles wide. I'll grab this one. Actually, no, we don't even need to do that. We can just do this, right? And then very, very carefully, we'll take these, copy, paste, put it somewhere else so I don't lose track of it. Or actually, no. We'll want to flip it like this, right? It's beautiful. I think that works. Maybe? Right? Because this is your hand. That's your hand. This is your hand. Okay. I think this works, so let's re-export. Boom. Give it a save. Overwrite without asking. Send it. So now the sprites is all kinds of messed up, but that's okay. Just give it one more. Save. Walk. So this needs to be frame 6. And now we're correct. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I feel like this should also be flipped. I should flip the colors here, maybe. Or at least I don't know why this foot is white. Did I just mess this up? And that's why it looks this way? It's very, very possible. Boom, boom. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past me to just royally mess up a sprite when I was recoloring it. Okay, but now we have our hand moving properly. Okay, cool. Cool. So I need to adjust all the other animations. So idle south, this is 0.8. It doesn't matter for this one, but just in the future, if I ever duplicate these other animations again, it'll make it easier on myself. Or at least when I go back in the future and wonder, like, why are all these animations so messed up? Now I know. This is move north. These animations are all kinds of messed up because I'm dumb. So boom. This needs to be idle north. This needs to be move north. Flip H, by the way. Flip H, and then also next frame. And then grab this. Oh man, those hands are big. Some big hands, dude. Is that correct? Or is this something I've also messed up? Those are some big hands. I don't know. Something doesn't look right here. Boom, boom, boom. I guess it's okay. It's technically correct. If you look at how they face south, that's where their hands are. So technically, it's okay, but something about it doesn't look right to me. Also, this does need to be 0.8. So idle south, move south. That's sorted. I think move east. Yeah, I can just duplicate move east. So duplicates move east, and now welcome to move west. Population this thing right here. So we just disable flip H, right? Yeah. I think I do need to remember to, yeah. Flip H was always set for move south. We're idle south, idle north. Yeah. And so these don't have animations attached to them. Look at that. That looks okay. So there's our move animation. Let's get around to working through, and you know what? I think I am going to recolor these so that they use a more limited sprite palette or color palette. Wishy. What is wish? I have a lot of color palettes just kind of saved, and I think when I was talking about this earlier, I was bringing it up and then proceeded not to actually bring it up. Godot snippets. So I do have some snippets, and I think I do have one written for C#, maybe, or maybe not. Pallet Swapper. Nope, this is just a GD script Pallet Swapper, but it should work, right? Because it doesn't need to be running all the time. Yeah, and then I just have all of these. So if I just recolor this, I think it should be okay. So we can change the bucket tool, change a few of these as well. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. So there's 4 colors here. So we'll just really slowly recolor it, right? So it makes it look a bit washed out, but this also allows me to be able to palette swap easier, at least via code. Because I do have the palette swapper just written already, so it's not hard. And I can afford to be a bit slow at this point, right? Because I do have a month to work on it. It is nice not having deadlines. Kind of like at work, since I'm still technically in my onboarding phase. Like I get pretty much everything that they're doing. Also, I'm realizing now I've done this with the wrong color. Good job, me. It's supposed to be brown. That's why it looks washed out, is that I'm not using the darkest color in the palette. No. And so we'll be doing kind of the Game Boy thing, right? So we have a bright background. So this is gonna just continuously like hurt my eyes. But that's okay. I wonder though, maybe I should do it, I guess, do inverted colors, right? Although, I think when you're working on stuff, it is better to do it this way. And then I can just palette swap later in the engine. Maybe that makes more sense. Yeah. Maybe that, yeah. Palette swap later. Do it like this for now, and then palette swap later. I sent a question in their Discord server ready to be denied. Sent to the deepest depth of heck, or I can get a helping answer. I don't know. That's the spirits. Just send it, dude. That's kind of my answer to a lot of things. When in doubt, just send it. The worst they can say is no. Actually, that's not the worst that they can say, but it could be worse, but it could be a lot. It could work. Could be worse, but you know. Oh, looking like Beast Boy over here. It's okay. Make him green. Yeah, look at that. So export that. Go back to Godot. Yeah, there's our Overworld unit, and then we'll also grab my Pallet Swapper. Doesn't work, just do a tactical retreat. Yeah, just ghost them afterwards. Just leave the server. Unless their bot like tracks who comes and who goes, they'll never know you left. Unless they really have it out for you. But I think at that point, right, I would say that you dodged a bullet there, you know? If they actively come after you just leave their server, you should be good. It was a good thing that you didn't get too involved. Alright, so Godot, Snippets, Pallet Swapper. Yeah, so Pallet Swapper, just grab all of these. We'll go to GitHub game off. We'll put deployment gacha on the back burner once again. That is something I want to actually work on, but it's just hard, man. It's hard. Alright, so there's our Pallet Swapper. Let's load it in just once, right? Fix dependencies. It's this one. Utils, Pallet Swapper, GD. Phenomenal. Open anyways. There it is. Yeah. There you have it. There's your Pallet Swapper. So it just draws on top of your screen and then swaps your palette with a shader. I'm thinking, actually, which layer does this draw on? 100? We can probably just do it at like 1, right? So I only want it to draw on top of this test screen. Yeah. Actually, you can put this at 2. So I only want to swap like the Game Boy style graphics because I'm thinking, I was looking at Square Enix's newest game. Hello, Needle Mouse. Hello, hello. How are you? Finished streaming some minutes ago. Oh, hold on. Let me give you a follow, I guess. Whenever people follow me, or I guess whenever people are like, oh, I stream as well, I always click on their name in chat, and then there's no follow button, but there's a big button called add friend. I'm like, oh, okay, let's follow them there. No, I don't want to add you as a friend. No offense, but alright, there's a follow. Get followed. Yun. It's okay. I'll be your friend, just not on Twitch. Alright, so this is where we're at. I'm doing the GitHub game off, by the way. It might be a good opportunity for you as well, Needle Mouse, if you're interested in making a game. Since it's a long one, right? It's a long one. Goes until December 1st. I think the theme is actually really similar to the Ludum Dare that I did as well. But by the way, I'm participating. So the theme is bug. The Ludum Dare theme is unstable, aka bug. So yeah, you should do it. You should do it. You should do it if you're interested in making games. Could be a cool experience for someone like yourself. Pallet Swapper. So we now have our Pallet Swapper. How nice. Just kind of hanging out in our project. Written in GD script. Because it's really simple and it doesn't need to run constantly. I'm gonna send a Sonic 06 DVD. Clever. I get it. Have you played Sonic 06? I've never played Sonic 06. I've only seen the videos. I've only seen the videos. The video essays. That's one way like how I'm like a millennial or a Zoomer. Do millennials watch video essays or is that more of a Zoomer thing? I like watching video essays, but anyways. Also, check this out. We're writing this in C#, by the way. C# and GD scripts for a few helper things. So anything that runs multiple times per second, I'm writing in C#. For anything like this, so this Pallet Swapper thing, it's just, you know, we listen for input somewhere, and then we'll swap the palette as needed. And then it's just available in the thing. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. How do I grab this? How do I get access to this Pallet Swapper from C#? I'm not familiar with that. I should make a bullet hell. The bullets are so much that it lags the game. It's not really. Is that like a bug? I think that's just like that's inherent to all bullet hell games, isn't it? Because if you don't optimize how the bullets are handled, it'll just lag the game anyways. You gotta be. I don't know. I think if you're not, there's like two things that you can focus on in a game, right? There's like execution or idea. So if you're not confident in your execution, like I'm not confident in my ability to execute very well, but I am confident in the quality of my ideas. So I just throw execution out the window, honestly. And just hope that the idea is good enough to convince people to play my game. Which doesn't always work. Doesn't always work. Just the Among Us sounding the game and call it a bug. I guess. It's not really going off the theme. But you do you, I guess. So how do you access? Oh, if you want to access an auto load in C#, you have to. If you want to access an auto load in C#, you have to do it by doing like one of these. You have to do like a get tree and then just get the node and store a reference to it. That's tough. So how would you do this then? You would need to do probably like a public void and then just call the function inherently, or just basically blindly call the function once we're ready to set ourselves. And then what is this? This is the Godot classes don't map to C# classes. Those are completely different things. But we can still have this here. So we'll have a pub private static canvas layer, and then we'll have to just blindly call a function on it. That's okay. Everyone loves blind calls. So S, because that's how you're supposed to do it, or that's how you're supposed to name static things in C#. This is Pallet Swapper, and then public static. Or I feel like, yeah, I shouldn't even expose Pallet Swapper to myself, because I know that's one of the things I like about having private versus public just visibility things. Is for future me, I'll be like, oh, here's a thing. Would be a shame if I were to use it, but C# says no. Future me, do not touch this function. Or do not touch this, field. Now an answer that was not a no, but not a yes either. I should wait for Leorian board 2. Well, you know what? There we go. There we go. You know what I think, Feldy, is the answer to your question, is that they don't know how their protocol works either. Or their protocol, I think I was right in one of the things I said, is that it's just filled with so much garbage. There's a lot of garbage in their protocol right now, which is why they're rewriting it. Right? That's what I think is happening. So we'll do like a public void store Pallet Swapper. And so this will be some sort of canvas layer. Pallet Swapper. Let's see. We'll do static Pallet Swapper is just equal to whatever the heck this is, right? So it'll be statically available. How nice. Might join this game jam. It's a month jam. Yeah, exactly. It's a month. It gives you so much time, but it also puts a deadline on you as well, right? I think that's what I like about deadlines, is that it kind of forces you to do something at the very least, or drop out. But then it also kind of tricks your brain into like the sunk cost fallacy, right? Where you're like, I've been working on this for 2 weeks. Am I really gonna drop it now? Right. If you're gonna drop it, you're gonna drop it within the first week. Therefore, kind of forces you to finish. I think the same. They probably just use some finished GameMaker. Oh, I forgot that it's written in GameMaker as well. I had no idea how it works. It just works because both sides use the same. Yeah, GameMaker, dude. I forgot. Might get some confidence. Enjoy it. Yeah. Makes reverse engineering much more fun and much more brain damaging. That's the same opinion I have about alcohol. Which is like, Was phrased as a joke, but not really. Alright, so hold on. Let me open up the Pallet Swapper, by the way. Pallet Swapper GD. So this is my GD script function. So how do I swap pallets? I could store these on the C# side as well, I think. And then just map these one-to-one. That might be kind of interesting. Pallets, yeah. So these are the pallets on the Godot side. I don't remember if these map. So you know what? Let's just give these a direct mapping. Where I don't know if these are... I don't know how these work if you don't explicitly assign a number. If I don't finish on making it a full game, well, there we go. You know, if you don't finish it, well, at the very least, needle mouse, it'll be a learning experience for what works and what doesn't work. And you'll also learn a lot of tooling along the way. I don't think you need to release the source code either. Like, you just need to, I guess, have it available on GitHub. So you can have it as a private repository. Another thing to wait for when you are already at, where is No Game No Life 2? No Game No Life? That's a good show. That's a good show. I think lots of people like the opening soundtrack as well, but I thought it was kind of a snoozer. But there's your hot take for today. Swap palette 2. So there's your palette swapper stuff. So we'll do something here. I'll create like a manual enum. So this is palette swapper, or I guess color palettes. Or palette swapper palettes. Palette swapper palettes. .cs, and this will be an enum. Yeah, I think I've seen No Game No Life maybe like 1.5 times because I watched it. My old roommates, they're watching through it like halfway, so I just kind of sat in. And I was like, wow, this is actually not bad. And then I started from the beginning and watched it through again. I was like, oh, you know what? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. The ending, as with all shows, is kind of bad. Can't think of too many animes that had like a good ending. Actually, I'm trying to think of like any anime that had a good ending. What show had a good ending? Like, I think Death Note's ending was okay. I think Death Note's ending was okay. I think the scenes leading up to the ending were pretty bad. Kind of a drag. Like the second season, kind of a drag, but the ending wasn't bad. How do you do? Can't you assign? So C# enum. How do you assign enums? Yeah, this is how you do it, right? Oh, is that just not how you're supposed to name them? I'll try to make a bullet hell game and just frick the game up. Soul Eater, I mean, oh, Soul Eater. I hated watching Soul Eater. I could not watch it. Oh, this is, I forgot the enum part. That's why it's throwing errors. Enum, palette swapper, palettes. Pallets. Yeah, Soul Eater's the one where I can't remember anything about Soul Eater. All I know is that I've watched like 3 episodes in. I gave it the requisite amount of episodes. I was like, you know what? I can't. Even some of my friends who are like more into anime than I am, which is saying a lot, but they're like, yeah, I couldn't get into Soul Eater either. I was like, yeah. Thanks for validating me, at the very least. Let's see. Soul Eater's anime was changed. I prefer the manga more. I think a lot of people prefer the manga more, right? Isn't it like... That's pretty much everything. In pretty much every single circumstance, the manga is better. Yeah, punching the dude was just stupid. I don't know what you're talking about, but... Never watched it. Never read it. You know what had a good ending? Has Attack on Titan actually finished? has the anime for Attack on Titan finished? I think it's whenever I got like a real job, right? I stopped watching anime almost entirely. Because I just don't have time to watch anime anymore. Pallet Swapper pallets. Yeah, I finished the manga, but I have not. I think I stopped watching the anime in like after season 2, which is like the years ago. Final part of season 4 is gonna come in. Oh, so it hasn't finished yet. Yeah. I think that's probably the only show I'll probably go back to watching, because that was I think that's the first anime I actually sat down and watched. Which kind of tells you that I started watching anime very late into my life. I did not grow up corrupted. I was corrupted later. What's season 3? I don't know. Like, I've read the entire thing. I've actually read I've read a lot of it like twice actually. I've only read the very, very last arc once though, because it was kind of bad. Sleeping on AOT. I've read the thing. I've read the entire manga. I don't know what more you want from me. I've read the entire thing. So we'll call... I guess we'll just have a function here. What does this do? How do I swap the palette? Unswap palette. I actually don't know. Oh no, I need to set the base palette, so hold on. So this is actually not horrible. So Miss GB, right? What am I using here? I'm using season 3 and where does season 3 start? Which arc is season 3? So set swap palette. This is actually a bit tough. So I think in the GD script part, I do need to set the swap properly. So we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that. Yeah, season 3 is when, okay, so like there's, you know, spoilers for Attack on Titan, by the way, about to incoming. So the season 3 start when you find out that what's his face, Bertold and Reiner are actually from the outside. Is that where it starts? Do you find out about Kenny at any point? I forgot. Why are you telling me that it's good? How can you know that it's good? I think. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, Alright, so let's take out a few of these. So I think by default, yeah, the color rect is visible, and then we unswap the palette, which we don't want to do. So set base palettes. Oh, I remember. So this will be our base palette. Kind of ugly, but that's okay, because how it's actually supposed to look is like this. So if you put it against a white background, it looks like Beast Boy, but against the actual background that we'll be using for the overworld, this looks okay. I know it's good, just I forgot a lot of stuff. How good could it be if you forgot? Riddle me this. I think that's my opinion about a lot of stuff, though, right? I think it's like it's for the same reason that I don't really like taking photographs of places that I go to, right? Like if it was worth remembering, then I would remember it. That's how I feel about that kind of stuff. All right, so let's have a new function called like toggle palette swap. So this is just base GD scripts, not color rect visible. So toggle palette swap. I don't know when I would ever want to do this, but that's okay. Then we can do like a swap palette. So this is your base palette is C0 whatever. And so this tells your base palette tells Godot which colors to palette swap against. So that's what this function is for. So pretty much always necessary, but I mean, it also depends on what kind of assets you're passing in as well. So as long as you make all your assets in the same palette, it should be okay. Now set your swap palette. I think this is what I want to be changing. So we'll call set swap palette. And of course you can find all of this stuff available on my GitHub. So this palette swapper is included in my Godot snippets repository. So it just works. It only works for 4 colors right now, but it's pretty easy to extend, right? Because how it works is just based off of a shader. Look at that. So if you want to add more colors to your palette, all you need to do is just add more stuff here. Not hard, not hard. It's a very brute force way of doing it because Godot does not allow for you to pass in arrays of things to shaders, which I think makes sense. Or I guess you can. There's a few things that Godot does not allow you to do with palette or with shaders. So I think one of them is a GL shader language limitation where I don't think that you can pass in an array. You cannot pass in an array of arrays, but a Godot limitation is that you also cannot pass in like just random arrays of integers, unfortunately. So that's a bit tough. So instead we had to do it like this. So manually define every single color. So each color is just a vector for. But besides that, that should be okay. No, that should be fine. Let's grab this color, by the way. So we'll grab the swatch. This is the hex code. Get out of here. Burn my eyes out. There we go. I hated seeing anyways. And there's your tile map. So tile map, this is your background, so this will expand out to the full length of your screen. So if we start now, nothing will happen. Build it. Oh, is it it pallet swapped already. Nice. So probably don't want to instantly pallet swap, but we could. Look at that, it totally worked. Yeah, so this is it. Nothing spawns in just yet, but we're getting to it. Just give it some time. I do need to write out the rest of the stuff. But here we have our public void swap pallet 2, blah, blah, blah. Here we do need to do this right here. So app manager, and then we'll do, what do you know? Look at that. Isn't that weird? How does Godot know about this thing? Or how does the GD script? I know in GD script you can just call whatever you want. It's very JavaScripty in that fashion, where if the function doesn't exist, you can still call it anyways. And then just hope it actually does exist. It's a bit weird. Anyways, that's okay. So we store, instead of having to, from the C# side, try to look for our pallet swapper, we just have our pallet swapper just blindly store itself onto the app manager. So we kind of invert how this thing kind of works out. The only problem is that we do need to remember, do not use the pallet swapper before the pallet swapper is ready. But that should be pretty easy to do, since, you know, the pallet swapper is the second thing to be initialized. So let's go to test screen. We'll start editing this. So we do have the player unit. So this is our overworld unit in our palette. It looks okay. This is how they look when they move. Very Pokemon-esque. Pokemon-esque. I used to call it Pokemon when I was a kid. Very strange. So we'll grab the unit, copy the path, then in our test screen, we'll hit it with a private read only pack scene. So this will be overworld unit scene. It's equal to GD load pack scene. Then one of these. I feel like it's not giving me the stuff that I'm kind of expecting, but maybe I'm just crazy. All right, so then we need to have before I forget, I also do need to get a init. There we go. There's a license on here. I think I'm probably going to open source this afterwards, but for now, we'll keep it to myself. Keep it to ourselves. So git add all, git add, git ignore. Where are we at? Looks good. Git commit. There we go. Hooray. Create a new repository here, so I'll just do this on screen now. So this is the GitHub Game Off 2021 private repository. So that's how you would do it, so no one else can see it besides Big Brother Microsoft. Give this a save. Surprisingly enough, I didn't realize how many people didn't know how to use the command line interface with a terminal interface for Git. Even like professional software developers. Just madness, dude. Git branch modify. So as a standard practice for any private branch, I always rename master to senpai, so that people know that I'm a huge weeb, but also git push u origin Senpai. There we go. Get one of these, and there we go. Yeah. There is technically a README, but there's nothing in it. It's just an empty file. So we can get rid of this. Apache 2 licensed technically, but it's not a public repository just yet. We'll get to that. So how do I want to do this system? So the idea for the game is that it's, you know, 1 top-down, 2 tile-based, and then 3 it's like a I guess it's not it's turn-based, but like a we go system, not a you go I go you go. One of those. So both parties take their turn at the same time, which I think is more interesting. So top down. I don't know why I opened this up actually. There's nothing to draw. But those are the 3 ideas. Private vector 2. So this is the, it's just the player position, huh? And then I'll have a few positions on screen, which will register themselves to the test screen as like things that you can go into, I guess. So this will be your player position, which is a vector 2. Well, just vector 2, 0, like that. And then also we'll just have the player sprite as well as something that we'll be able to move around. So private, overflow exception, absolutely not. Using overworld unit is stored in entities units. Okay, so using entities units. Look at that. One thing I kind of dislike about C# is how it does imports. So it doesn't allow for direct imports. I wish it did, but that's just the Java developer in me crying out. Yeah, so there's your, actually, yeah. Overworld unit player. So overworld unit is really just this thing here. So all the overworld units, pretty much the same entity, but we'll keep track of your position separately. So I guess we're kind of inverting control. So usually we'd think of your movement logic as being stored on this character here, but actually all your movement is stored on, I guess, at the level layer. The level takes care of your movement for you. So player is equal to a new overworld unit scene GD. No, we already have it there, so we can just do overworld unit scene instance overworld unit. There we go. Typed it twice. Very good. So, what needs to be added to the overworld unit? Nothing. All right, cool. We do need to adjust the position of the unit as well. So how do we do that? We would do so we have the tile map, and since we're doing kind of a tile-based movement approach, and then each cell, I think each cell is going to have to be 16 by 16. Yeah. Tile origin. This has actually never worked for me, tile origin, but we'll get around to it. We'll also Y sort them as well. Yeah. Very, very tiny. So we have the tile map. So if I remember correctly, it's something like player dot global position is equal to tile map to global tile map map to world, and then be vector to position, right? Okay, so we can package this up into a function because this is kind of gross. So give me 1 sec. We'll go to public void set map position for. So we'll reuse this for a bunch of things, right? So we'll have some sort of node 2D that we can set, and then we'll also pass in a vector to position, right? So then our node 2D, I guess we're just gonna call it a node, right? We know what we're talking about here, since this is really just a single liner to kind of bundle up a lot of this. So we can use a private tile map field, even though we're not changing anything on it, to global tile map map to world position. And I think, yeah, we need to use the half tile size as well. Tile map half cell or half cell size, whatever. Overwrite. I don't care what Godot is doing with my C# files. So player dot. Wait. No, it's just set map position for. Set map position for player, and then we'll set it to vector to 0. Or no, we'll set it to your player position, right? Which is vector to 0, but it's all kind of the same stuff. So what controls do I have inputted? Okay, so I don't have any. So I can reuse a lot of this UI stuff. I really should actually reuse all the UI stuff. So what's the difference between physical key and key? Hey? I don't really know. It's a bit weird though how physical key is above regular key. Yeah, okay. And then we'll have primary action and then secondary action. Oh, hello. Carino. Hello, are you working on Godot itself today? I am not, no. I am working on a game jam game. Mostly because I'm trying to find the motivation to do any developments. But this is the GitHub game off. So it's a month-long thing. The last game I made was something for Ludum Dare 49. I guess you can just find all the games that I made here in order, more or less. Giant horse death ball. I think that one was pretty fun, but no, I don't usually do, well, actually I don't do like any engine development. C++, very scary. I'm not super confident in my manual memory management ability. Can I do it? Yes, I have written, I guess, a few modules, and by a few modules I mean one module before for Godot. Was it very good? You know, it worked. And then afterwards they just built in the functionality that I kind of hacked in anyways, so I took it off. Right, so if we look at a profile, hold on, maybe not here. This thing, archived. I see, I just know private something. I thought, hey, private, is private in Godot, GD scripts? Nah. I'm writing this in C# actually. So, you know, Godot supports C# as a first class language. And so it does take a little bit of getting used to, especially if you're used to GD scripts. But you know, C# is C#. There's a few weird things here though, right? So usually in Godot, you would do like a preload. You would preload the pack scene, but actually what you have to do here is, you know, GD load, you know, of type pack scene, load in this text scene, and then here, then you need to instance it in as its actual type in C#. So there's a few oddities for a lot of that. Yeah, but the game idea that I'm working on for the GitHub game off, I keep closing the window, by the way, I don't know why. So the GitHub game off, theme is bug, here's an idea. Let's make something that resembles a JRPG, but what if your player was initialized, I guess, just improperly, so you are like a bug. The world is more or less self-aware, but they're not able to, I guess, figure out who you are, so they just constantly forget who you are. I think that might be kind of cool. Right, if you play through, you know, JRPGs are either grinding focused or story focused, so what if, like, just no one could remember, like, oh, okay, like, who is this? I think there's some interesting things that you could do with it. I'm avoiding saying it out loud, at least at this juncture. At least until I work on them. I have everything written down. You know, I did my usual thing, set up a bunch of, or, you know, wrote down all the ideas. I was like, wow, this is a good idea. I should actually do this because I cannot find the motivation to actually work on a game. You'd be very lucky not to fall at the end of the year. Nice. I'm very familiar with bugs. I too am very lucky not to. Actually, there are just some bugs in some applications. Like in this application here, I think there's actually still a fair amount of bugs. Like I think gaze strength doesn't actually work. No, it's in, yeah, I think it's gaze strength that doesn't actually work still. But of course you can't see it because this one doesn't really have any eye movement. But on actual anime models, I think it's more obvious that it's not quite working as it should. So it's okay. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Sometimes we take features out. Public override void. So we'll do like a process kind of thing. And this is just the test screen, but we'll move this over to the real screens once we figure out how I want to do movements. So private vector2 intended movements. So we'll initialize this as a vector2 0. And then let's see. Let's just zero out the intended movement every single frame. So intended movements is equal to vector2 0, how nice, and then if input is action. Is action pressed? Yeah, is action pressed. Then there's a few things. Why am I not getting code completion? It's a bit weird. It's okay. I know exactly what things I want to use, because it's the same stuff every time, right? I feel like something weird is going on, though, with the code completion. So sometimes it works really well, sometimes it doesn't. Especially with C# and using external editors. Action pressed, so UI left. So even though you can see that some assets, I don't know if you could actually see them, but some assets are actually, you know, pixel assets. I'm not going for a pixel perfect look. I think it's only going to be for the overworld. It's going to be, you know, pixelated. Using 16 by 16 sprites. I think for the actual battle screen, What's the new Square Enix game that just came out? New Square Enix game. Not Forspoken. What was it called that just released? Dungeon Encounters. Yeah. I was looking at Dungeon Encounters and I was thinking like, this game looks horrible. Got tricked by that GIF on the rules page. Feels bad, man. That's how you know you're still human though. You can still see the GIF. You didn't just see it as an image. But yeah, this is the idea. So this is Square Enix's new game, by the way, which is how much does this cost, by the way? This is like $30 for this. Like this just looks, I don't know. I do like the idea of this though. So you just have character portraits and then all your, you know, stats and whatever. So it's gonna be a mix of Overworld, it's gonna be Pokemon looking kind of things. So that's your asset. 16 by 16, and then we'll use slightly higher resolution stuff on the battle screen. Something like that. I don't even know if this is really visible. Alright, one of these. I like the idea of doing this. Yeah, let's keep going. So, bum bum. Tendon movements. So we're going up. We're moving in 2D, so we want to. Let's do one of these. Tendon movements Y. Tendon movements still Y. And tendon movement Y plus equals 1. Tendon movements X minus 1. Tendon movement plus equals 1. Plus 1 plus equals 1. Yeah, so that we're able to cancel out some movements if you press both keys at once. Common mistake is to do this as an entire like if-else chain, but that it does mean that one of your keys will take priority over the other keys. So it's just better to pull 4 times in a row. Yeah, so I think we can just do player position. As just plus equals, since we're always zeroing it out, so it doesn't matter. Player position is equal to intended movement plus equal intended movement, and then we'll do set map position for player position. Phenomenal. Wow. And I think that's okay. Then we have our draw helper here. I think we are grabbing this as well. So this helps draw something around our, our tile set, so we can actually see it. I think I'm doing this in the wrong order. Hold on. So this needs to be probably layer 0 or layer -1, right? So lower values are drawn first. So this is the background, so this should be completely in the background. Okay, so you can see that we're drawing along the tile set in a very, very tiny aqua square. I don't know if that's actually visible on screen. It's so small. We can full screen it though. The problem is I can't see the player at all. Oh, and I also need to switch how things are rendered here. So this needs to be viewports, keep aspect ratio, then in rendering quality, need to fix, don't use oversampling, yes. Thank you very much, anonymous viewer, for the follow. You have some cursor hexagon animation, but I see what you did, yeah. There we go. So now we're actually scaling it up like that, so you can see the blue thing, Having the cursor hexagon animation is kind of a pain. Actually, where did it go? Did it crash? No, it's still here. It's one of these. Whee! Look at this. I made this as well. Let's see your stream avatars do this. We'll turn my bot into a mouse. Yeah. But anyways, I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, I didn't add child, did I? Yeah, I didn't add child for the player. So that would do it. And then after this, play an editor, please work. All right, there we go. Sometimes this doesn't work. Actually, it still has not worked. So we're running play an editor, aren't we? What does my launch.json look like? Oh, this is just completely wrong. RC3. This needs to be RC3. So weird how this, well, I actually don't know how this is working. Yeah, because it's clearly not recompiling itself properly, I think. No? Oh, it's just very, very small. Look at that. So we can add a camera 2D here, make it current, and then we can zoom in by like 0.3. Right, because the sprites are only 16 by 16, so it's very, very fast. Oh, I'm see-through. Oh, you are see-through, yes. Hold on. So there is channel point rewards that you can just use if you want to switch your whatever's, right? Because I don't know. You can be a duck if you want. Or I can just click on the duckify command. Any commands that you can see here, you can actually run through the custom command option, which allows you to do all kinds of stuff. Basically bundle together a bunch of commands, so you don't have to pay as much. All right. Anyways, there we go. So now we're moving around. There's no animation, but we'll add one. We'll add one. Not hard. So something I should do as well. We'll go back to Godot. Overworld units. I think I need to put a... I need to tween units between two positions. Watch the stream through the MPV player. Potato PC, can't play at 1080p in browser. Feels bad, man. So I used all my points on Hydrate. Did you? Did I miss a redemption? I hope I didn't. It does happen from time to time, though. Or are you saying that you're not actually connected to, I guess, the Twitch proper? You're connected through MPV player, so you don't even show up in the stats. Okay, so you need to be like, okay, I got you. My metrics. You're pirating my stream. How could you? Yeah, Hex Chat and MPV. Very nice, very nice. The struggle of the... I don't know. What is the struggle? The struggle of something. I do need to think about how I want to do it. So how would you do tile-based movement that isn't instant? So the first thought is to just tween from position to position. Or maybe I can do one of these. Sorry. It's okay. No offense taken. Just know that you've made an enemy for life. My metrics. That's okay. Gotta do what you gotta do. I think as long as you get something out of the streams anyways, it's a-okay. Although, I guess this code won't be open source until the end of the game jam, so in a month. Let's do one of these. We'll do a public vector to move to position, get set. We'll set it equal to just a vector to 0 by default. Just think of me as a ninja. Very spoopy. So basically you're a weeb, is what I'm gathering. You also run with your hands stretched out behind you? Or I guess you're not a Naruto ninja. I actually haven't really watched like any Naruto episodes all the way through. I've only seen like a select few. That came out at a time I wasn't really allowed to watch TV when I was a kid. Only on the weekends. Let's see, move to position so we can have boom boom. I guess we should just have a tween? I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking probably a tween is the best way, or could just have the test screen very slowly lerp the player to position so I guess the player doesn't, the overworld unit stays as just like an animation player plus a sprite and position, where as the actual visual screen will take care of all of the, the placement. It's a software stream, of course I'm a weeb. Nice. It is true that I usually stream software most days. Very rarely do I even play games on stream. Because I don't know. There's just some days like, I don't know. Like when I'm playing games, it's like, sometimes I have things to say, but I don't know. If I'm having if it's like a really silly game, I'll talk over it. But most games, at least my first time around, I try to take it seriously. Really get into it. But I know that some people can't, right? Move to position. I feel like I should handle everything in the screen, the test screen, and then just have the unit just be this, and that's it. And then we'll have I guess the animations available as well. Right, so we can just do overworld unit animations. So this will be an enum namespace, entities units. Let's slap everything into this namespace. So public enum, so overworld unit animations. So we have a few. First is none. I always hit it with a none enum, just in case. That's a big change that I've started to do nowadays, or not recently, but ever since I've started doing more professional developments, right? Is because if you don't have a none enum that just immediately throws an error, then your code will just sometimes work even though it shouldn't be working, right? And you won't know why if you just have all proper values in your enum. So you should always have this kind of dropout value, none, that just immediately throws an error. So, boom, boom. We have, I guess, idle. Do idle north, idle south, east, idle west. These are all your idle animations. I was considering that I could probably split split up the actual animation and then the direction that you're facing, but that's just a little too fancy for me. I have done that before, but it's just a lot more work to put together. Whereas you could just hard code every single animation here, because there's only so many animations that you can have in 2D, right? So public. Overworld unit animations. So this is current animation is equal to get set and then set it equal to overworld animations idle south. I think that's okay. Public overworld unit animations. So your next animation works in almost the same way. And then this is how we handle changing animations. It's idle south. There we go. We're still nowhere closer to moving around in like I guess a tile-based way, but bear with me. We'll get there. So set map position for. I feel like I don't want to do this anymore. Right? Instead, I should drop everything into, I guess, like a units kind of thing, right? Yeah. So all units will be in... I don't think I want to Y sort them. Maybe I do want to Y sort them. We can Y sort them. So this will be units, so that some units can be a bit bigger than others. But since we're going for a Pokemon style, right? So Pokemon don't really, they're not really bigger than each other. I guess you can hide behind trees. Yeah, okay, so we'll Y sort them, right? So entities, yeah, we'll Y sort them. And then we can have units. So we have a second Y sort inside of this. So if you want to Y sort, but then you still want to group things by node, this is how you would do it. It's just using two Y sorts nested. In this way, Godot will Y sort both things. It's a bit unintuitive, but so it goes. So, boom, boom. Private Y sort. So this is units. Another thing you can't really do in C# is do the onReady var thing and just pull straight from, you know, variable assignment. You have to do it the more basic way, like this. So Y sorts. Yeah, so you can also do this in GD script like this, but you don't get the nicety of just having a nice one-liner. So units, so then we'll do units dot add child. There we go. And then we'll have, I like to have just a props Y sort as well. So you put things in units, put things in props, everything else shouldn't really be anything else, but then we have this outer Y sort just so Y sort the inner Y sorts. And so they all kind of coalesce together. Keep everything copacetic. Let's see. Set map position 4. I think this is still good to have, but I don't want to do this here. But it is nice to just be able to directly set the map position like that. Let's see. Let's label this for now. Actually, you can do, how do you do, like region, right? Yeah, region, player, input. Is that how, can you do like a 2-word region? I don't think you can. And region. Is that how that works? Oh, it does. That is how it works. Interesting. Neat. That is something I really like about C#, is that you still have access to, I guess, almost pre-processor style annotations. Or whatever these are. Directives? Still need to look more into those. The way they work is almost like how like annotations work in Java, right? I used to not know how annotations work. All I knew is that they just worked somehow. So I don't know, like what are some Java annotations? Path? Is that a servlet one? It's been so long since I've actually worked in Java. Those were the good old days. Because it made me feel productive, just writing like a million lines of code to do one thing. Player inputs, then for each. So these will be overworld units. So overworld unit in units. Units get children, by the way. Get children. So this will throw an error if we ever put anything that isn't an overworld unit in units, but it's okay. Better to fail fast. And so, hello. Knock, how are you? You're almost a duck. Very close. You are in possibly the same life form type. Carbon-based. How's it going? It's going. How is a mouse almost a duck? Well, you squint really hard, and actually that's not a yeah, carbon-based. Also, that's not a mouse, that's a chinchilla. Thank you very much. Very, very different things. Whee! As you can see here. Look at that. I guess it kind of hides the little legs behind it, behind your name tag, but you get the idea. You called it a mouse in the Deathball source code. Did I really? Ah, no. It's okay. Sometimes I'm a liar. But this is what we're working on. GitHub game off. I have an idea. What we're making right now is a JRPG style overworld, and then we're doing, I had this open before. Yeah, dungeon encounters style combat. The new-ish Square Enix game, which is ridiculous in how, I guess, the presentation is just like this. Made good progress with the port, by the way. Oh, baby. Look at that. You're writing the port in Rust, right? And you're doing something with Rapier. It's essence of RPG battle systems. Yeah, so the theme is bug. So the idea is, what if I just throw you into, I guess it's pretty much just going to be like Final Fantasy, right? But what if your character was bugged so that they're not really registered into the system? And so, of course, it's not actually a bug, but we'll build the entire game around the idea that you don't really exist in the world. So, like, I guess, like, you still interface with most systems normally, but no one has, I guess, memory of your character. So people just constantly forget your character. I think that could be kind of a cool meme game. And there's some cool things. I have some other ideas as well that I'll reveal the further into the jam I get. Half regret not using an ECS, but it's also a fun challenge. Macro quad. Hit the issue how to go from physics handle to entity given I have no entity IDs. Oh baby. You could retroactively just tag all your enemies with an ID struct. How horrible does that sound? So, I wonder. I feel like this isn't the correct thing I should be doing. That's not far off from what I'm thinking. Oh, baby. I might go for full generational index. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? So player dot let me think. Player dot global position is equal to, how do I lerp something? Player dot position linear interpolates. No, it's player global position linear interpolates to the player position. I don't know if this is a good idea. And then we'll just linear interpolate like 0.3, I guess. F. Generational index. I don't know. And then also here, we can do. How does? So do you know in like Final Fantasy or Pokemon, right? Pokemon, you can move. Or I guess how the movement works in Pokemon, since that's the game I played more. And Pokemon is also tile based. Final Fantasy VI is the only Final Fantasy I've played all the way through, and I don't think that one was tile based. But Pokemon was tile based. So how does Pokemon do it? So when you just hold down in one direction, you're able to, keep traversing over tiles. But if you just kind of tap it really quickly, you don't. So I think I need to listen for how long you have the key down for before I add movements, or I guess add something to your intended movements and then consume it. Well, like a two-part index and a two-part index in a tuple. So generation index. Generation keeps taking up index, literally an index into a vector. Or a vec, I guess. So what's the generation for? I'm thinking, how does Pokemon do their movement? So if you hold down a key, or if you just tap the key, then you'll just look in one direction. If you hold it down, you're able to actually buffer and input into the next tile. So if you delete something and then reuse the index, you won't have collisions in the future. Okay. Delete something and then reuse the index, you won't have. Okay. Okay. And then presumably you would. Oh, okay, well. You won't stack overflow because you'll handle that at some point also. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Or I guess if you delete something, then you would just. I'm sure it makes sense. I'm just struggling with wrapping my head around it. I don't know. I'm sure it makes sense to me right now, but I can't think as to why you would want to. Or what something shouted at me like Stack Overflow, but I more rationally I'm thinking that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, in theory, the idea makes sense. Generational index, yeah, I get what you're doing, but also I'm like, how would you use this? So if I ever finish, Oh baby. If player position, or I guess it would be player dot global position dot distance to player position is less than or equal to, I guess, the half tile map half cell size, then we'll do this. Hey. This is not correct. Operator. Oh, right. I just need one of the cell sizes, and there we go. Yeah, you can't stack overflow given there's no recursion. Yeah, well, I think I was thinking that if your generation ticks up too fast, right? that you would overflow like that, but then that's just also how arrays work as well. Yeah, it's unlikely. Unlikely to happen. There's other concerns at that point. Use the U32, that's 4 billion generations. Yeah. Not a concern. Not a concern. Would this work, by the way? So I don't... Wait a minute. How big is my cell size? This is my cell size. Huh? For a hello Bundy. Hello. Why the long face? Although, from a distance, the horse doesn't really look like a horse. It looks like a cow. New game jam, huh? Yeah, new game jam because I can't find the motivation to work on any of my other stuff, my more long-term projects. 30 days is quite a lot of days. It is quite a lot of days. It's also a very similar theme to what the Ludum Dare was. So Ludum Dare was unstable. This one is bug. But I'm not making a game about a bug. It's closer to, I guess it's Final. It is almost literally Final Fantasy, but I guess your player character is a bug. So we'll see. I have some ideas on how that could be cool, but the most obvious one is that I guess NPCs or your character is just not acknowledged by the world, right? So they'll be talking to, like, oh, you have offended me, insert player name here, and then they'll, kind of bug out and then just kind of forget anything actually happened. I think that could be, there's some cool stuff you can do with that idea. So it's more of a meme game for sure. I don't know. So Go Godot Jam 2. Yeah, I saw that as well. It is very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. I think it's also unfortunate that the Godot 4 alpha wasn't out in time. But there's a lot of stuff, of course. I think I would have considered doing the Godot Jam if the Godot 4 alpha was out. I suppose I could just pre-compile the pre-alpha, but I'm kind of over having, Windows Explorer and also pretty much all my windows on my main screen crash. It's very annoying if you can believe that. So player position, intended movement. Goal position is equal to the goal position linear interpolated to the global position, player position, player position. Oh, you know what? It's I need to get this in tile map coordinates. What am I doing? Player position should not be intended movement. It should be, well, no, it should be, wait. Intended movement. No, your intended movement is on the tile map positioning. So it should be tile map to global. One of these. One of these. It's basically this, but without actually setting the position. So we'll have like a public void convert to convert. Oh, I also don't have motivation is really bad. Yeah, it's tough. Having a, I don't know. It's just like I go through periods where I'm like, I really want to make a game, like in the Ludum Dare stuff. And then I go through periods where I'm like, man, I just don't want to do anything. I kind of just want to just watch Netflix, but that's very unproductive. Do architecture plans and other stuff regularly. Are you an architect? Maybe a drafter? Is that what they're called? Convert to converts. Player position. This needs to be, let's add a note just so I don't forget. So summary. Watch Netflix and game dev at the same time. Well, yeah, but then I can't stream it. The hardest part. I guess I could just wear headphones and then watch Netflix on the side. But then all the Netflix shows that I'm watching right now are not in English, so I need to read the subtitles. It's the anime watcher's plight, even though I'm not watching anime. Dark is in German. Squid Game is in Korean. Oh. Watch Netflix with something really boring so you don't overdo it. Oh, so you mean Neon Genesis Evangelion? Hey yo. I don't know. Or no, hold on. What was the latest stand-up special that got a lot of controversy? That would be a better joke. Rewind the stream. Cut his mic. Not the most inspiring show, yeah. Well, Evangelion is not very good. In my opinion. It's okay. It's nice to see where a lot of shows draw their inspiration from. I think the ending of Evangelion is pretty cool. But I think like the first like 6 episodes are just completely throwaway. Just shut up, Shinji, I don't care. It's too much melodrama. Like, I don't want to get in the mech, but I want to be noticed by my dad. Or does he wants to be noticed by his dad, or does he just hate his dad? I forget. And then there's also the penguin, who's just kind of there. Remember the penguin? And then the second half of the show is okay. It's kind of weird. Anyways, spoilers for a very, very old anime. Converts tile position to global. So this will give you, so given a vector to position, or I guess this is like your tile position, tile pause. And then this will just give you a vector 2. This is actually just this calculation here, but we return it instead of directly setting the position. Yeah, there we go. can tell I was a Java developer. Because I like to use really long function names. Player position. So the player position, I feel like this should be called player map position. Or like player tile position. Player tile position, and then there's a vector 2. Player map. Player position. Which is slightly different. That's hard actually, because it's called a tile map in Godot, so I can't just call it a map position. Player position. Global position, distance to whatever this is. Then we'll do your tile position to global. Hold on. I'm thinking. I'm juggling a few too many things all at the same time. So I need to convert, and I also need to... No, I need to do everything in tile position, but I need to do all the distance calculations in global positions, which I don't want to store. I want to do everything in tile positions. Yes. So distance to... Yeah, I guess what if we do this? Keep this as player position. Right. Player position, but we keep convert tile position to global. So distance to the player position. And then we can just recalculate this every time, right? Or we can just wrap this. No, that's not it. You're asking about how Pokemon does movement. You debounce, button is down. Do you? Oh, you know what? That makes a lot of sense, huh? That makes a lot of sense. You know what? Ever since I've learned about debouncing, I think a lot of things in software development are making a lot more sense. You know what? This is what I was trying to do as well, right? I guess you could either debounce or you could just check the distance too. No, you found a hammer. Yes. Finally found a hammer. I'm surrounded by all these nails. Anything is a nail if you try hard enough. I got an idea. What's your idea, Needle Mouse? Would you like to share with the class? Did you bring enough ideas to share with everyone? Not everything is a nail. This is not true. I think that argument of yours sounds like a nail. Get ready to get hammered. I'll bring the brewskis. I think this will work. Let's add a to-do that I should actually debounce this. To-do, debounce. The ban hammer, yes. Possibly a 24-hour ban per minute. Make a bullet hell game, but graphics like the Toho PC 98 games. What did the Toho PC 98 games look like? Toho PC 98. I still don't know what they look like. We can drag this over and we can just get distracted. Oh, because so they have a limited color palette, basically. Right? Is that what they look like? I don't know. Is this what they look like? This looks like a meme. That DC, my internet sucks today. It's fine. No offense taken. It happens to the best of us. Right. Yeah, this is just, yeah, I don't know. Isn't the thing for, like, older games that, pretty much all old games, they use a color palette? Kind of like what I'm doing, because right now what I'm doing is I'm using my old Pallet Swapper code, and I'll just palette swap stuff occasionally. I think it could have some cool moments by doing that. Convert tile position to global, blah, blah, blah. Player position, then your global position, tile position to global. Kind of wasting a few CPU cycles here, but that's okay. I should store this. But anyways, let's give it a try. Limited Kyle pods are honestly it's so stylish. It is stylish. It's the restrictions that really help. Yeah, you know what? I do need the debounce. Like it is aligning itself to the tile, which is kind of cool. It does align itself to the tile. Actually, I kind of like that movement. That movement's actually kind of cool. I should use this for like another game. Yeah, it's the restrictions breed creativity. Yeah, there we go. That's the saying. Should I make it so sometimes when the game runs, the game will glitch out and I'll jump ahead a few. I don't know how to do it though. Freeze the screen a bit. I think. Yeah, could be cool. I don't know. Not good at bullet hell games, so I don't really know how it would feel to play if I guess you jump ahead a few frames. Yeah, I think I do need to debounce probably. Or maybe just even do like a less than. And then we can also make this a lot slower, right? So instead of linear interpolating by 0.3, we just kind of do it very slowly. I do like how it kind of you're able to slide on the diagonal though, which is kind of funny. Which is something you weren't able to do in other games, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't know. Probably should debounce it though. Probably should debounce it. Anyways, we'll add the animations. So we can do public override. I'll hit it with a process. Not gonna give me any nope. No code completion as per usual. Seems to happen a lot. Acknowledging the glitch would be a good touch. Game design with knock. Let's see. Let's do this. So our current animation is whatever the heck this is. If current animation does not equal next animation, then we'll just change it. That's the easiest part. Actually, this should be the last thing in the chain, right? Because we'll also want to determine if we even want to switch our animations or not. So we'll do anim player, play, I guess current animation. Hold on, current animation to string. Man, do I like using enums as strings. Current animation is now equal to our next animation. And we only want to play it once. This money will probably be the first month of no. Say no fappy fappy. Just makes it sound even weirder than like no, not November. Game design with Nas. Saturday morning show for kids. Yes. Today we're going to dive into the game design principles of Doom 2016. As you can see here, having copious amounts of blood really lets you feel the Doom Slayer's anger as he rips and tears. See you next time on Game Design with Knock. So if actually, how would I even tell if I'm moving or not, since I'm just lerping the global position? That's probably how it'd be. The way I kind of phrased it kind of sounded like a Adult Swim kind of thing. Have you watched any of the Adult Swim skits? They're like maybe 30 seconds max, and it's just like, where it's not Adult Swim, it's the Robot Chicken skits. Yeah, man, Robot Chicken was weird, man. Does anyone remember Robot Chicken? And also this. So, equal position, blah blah. We can also do just player, because we have access to the player. Oh, and this needs to be unit, not player, by the way. Oh my god. This doesn't make sense. I'm a big dummy. Take this out. That code, garbage. Looney Tunes of game development. Just breaks the dang PC. Yeah, you can finally return that error code. Something. What's the error code? The meme error code? Something catch fire. I've read about it a few times, but I'm not that kind of programmer who would actually need to implement that. There's a few of them, right? There's like, was it stop and halt and catch fire? And then there's also the error code like printer on fire. That's also a good one. No, isn't like halt and catch fire, isn't it? That's one of the error codes. Halt and catch fire. Yeah, halt and catch fire. Nope. Nope. Hold on. This is like a drama, but no, isn't this error code? Halt, yeah, halt and catch fire computing. There we go. There's a wiki article. Halt and catch fire. I know things. I know things. Look at that. Random trivia. Yeah, so I'm wondering at this point, it might make more sense to actually have each unit control their own position so that they can... It's just easier to manipulate their animation players as well. Yeah. That probably makes more sense, unfortunately. Yeah, so let's do public vector2 move to position to get set equal to vector2 0. Or I guess we can just, should always initialize it, and then we'll initialize it even harder here in ready. Right, so our move to position equals our global position. There we go. Oh, thank you for redeeming a hydrate, Bundy. Ignore the duck freaking out there for a little bit. Whenever it loses track of me. Look at that. I don't think it's that pronounced when I'm using the anime models, but so it goes. So it goes. Yeah. So convert tile position to global. I think what I want to do, right? So your move to position, for each unit in unit.getChildren, we'll do, I guess, unit.move to position is equal to unit, what the heck? Unit.global position, linear interpolate, then we'll pass in the convert tile position to global. And then I'll just have to have their position. Oh no. Okay. The thing that will be difficult to me right now would be bullet patterns. I'm not sure about it. I think there's a few things I have saved somewhere that describe how to do like bullet positions well. Let me see if I can find them. Yeah, how to drawing a metric ton of bullets in Godot. I thought this one was pretty neat. And it kind of goes through their process for designing their bullet hell kind of stuff. It might be a bit much. I thought it was a cool read though. Let me just drop this in the chat because it does have code snippets, so it's fairly well written. It even has diagrams. It is overkill for sure, but if you're doing it in Godot, but you might not be. You might just be doing it in, like, I think hacks. That was the thing that you were doing before. That might be okay, good enough. All right, so let's have the move to position and the tile position just stored on the entity itself. I was trying to avoid doing this. I don't know why I was trying to avoid doing this. I thought it would be cleaner just to have a separation of positioning and sprites, but sprites have to have a position anyways. So whatever. Going for Haxel Flixel right now? Yeah, I think the idea is similar. So it might help you, it might not. Programming concepts are the same across the board, in my opinion. Tile, position, still have get, set, and then we'll also initialize this as a vector to 0. And then tile position is equal to... Actually, no. No. I guess this will... We'll just zero both of them out, and then they'll have to be sets somewhere else. Something I might switch to Godot, but I want to go with hack still. That's for help me if I want to do a bullet hell game in Godot. Well, no, it will also it could help you, right? It's just an implementation of it in Godot, right? But the logic is the same. The code will be different if you're doing it in hacks, but the logic is roughly the same. So it's just how you process. You won't be able to copy and paste, but even if you were doing it in Godot, you couldn't copy and paste anyways. Because their code, it would be a bit tough. Actually, I think they actually have, yeah, they did throw this into a repo, so it is open source. It's not free in open source, by the way, but if you wanted to look at their implementation, see how they kind of do things. Right? It's the hard part is not writing code. The hard part is the logic that you want your code to do. Right? You know, like it's the same thing as like how would you describe to someone like how would you make a PB&J, right? Well, actually no, that's a bit harder. That's the complete opposite of my point. Ignore that. Or maybe it's not, I don't know. Maybe it's the same idea. So how would you make a PB&J? Like you can't just say like you make a PB&J, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, by, you know, you take some bread and put some peanut butter and jelly on it, right? And then stick them together. It's like, logically that actually does not compute correctly. You would need to, you know, logically go through each and every single step in order to build up to the whole of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So you would need to open the bag, cut a square of bread lengthwise that's about ½ an inch in width, cut 2 of those squares together, take a knife, and then spread some peanut butter on one side of one of the pieces of bread, right? It's just being able to break it down. You're forgetting the abstraction called human brain. Well, yeah, but if you're trying to express this in code, I think it's almost the same idea, right? You need to, like, you know how you want it to work. You know how you want it to work, right? You want it to look like this, right? Like, but how would you actually implement this pattern via code? And then that's the hard part about writing logic. It's like, yes, I logically want my bullets to spiral out in this pattern, but how would you actually do that? Please describe to me how you would do this. Like just saying, I want my bullets to spiral. Okay, how would you make them spiral? I would make them spiral by spiraling out. That's not really how programming works, right? So how would you break this down into individual parts? And that's kind of what this blog post would go through, is like, oh, this is like how we did it in GD scripts. And then you could, the point was that you could take this logic and then, you know, abstract it out to other programming languages or other frameworks. Does that make sense? That's the idea. Convert position to global, then linear interpolate by just the global linear interpolate amount. So get rid of this. Don't do that. So player position doesn't need to be here anymore. What we would do is player.tile position. Player position, we're going to get rid of this. So this will be player tile position plus equals this thing. Boom, boom. So this is, yeah, this is fine. Get rid of this line, I think. We'll keep it for now. Linear interpolate, convert tile position to global one. So then this gives us our move to position. Yes, okay. So then here we have our animation, which will be the last thing in the entire list of things that we're doing. When the screen freezes, I want to add more bullets after the screen unfreezes. Well, see that you know, the easy part is describing what you want. The hard part is actually, you know, writing the logic to get there. You know, anything is possible in programming. You just need to figure out how you want to express it. Or like exactly what, you know, what I'm going through right now is like, how do I know what I want, but how do I express it via code? So I could debounce it, but I think my current solution works for now. But then actually structuring how everything interacts with each other is a bit more difficult. So this would be global position is equal to our global position linear interpolates. Wait. No. Our goal, yeah, maybe. Yeah. It's just our move to position. Yes. And then if our global position does not equal our move to... Wait. No, that's wrong. This is very wrong. What the heck am I doing? I need to take this, move to position, and then I need to linear interpolate ourselves. But I guess the bosses will be a different story. I'll show a video how it'll be like and kind of be my inspiration. So our move to position, I don't think I want to do this. Something about this is wrong, so we'll comment this out. Actually, something about this is tile position, tendon movements. Then our global position is equal to our global position linear interpolates. Okay. That's a bit tough. Huh. Wait, no. Goal position, so we can still use this, but I don't think we want to linear Interpolate, we just want to convert our tile position. Yeah, I think. So we'll do our unit dot move to position is equal to whatever the heck this is. And then we'll do all the linear interpolation here. Yeah, okay. So our move to position, and then we'll just hard code this. It's okay. We got intense Toho games look. Yeah, they're very pretty looking. Very nice bullet patterns. Of course, there's also move to position, boom, boom. Convert this. I feel like this doesn't make a lot of sense to have anymore, but it's okay. Okay. Yeah, but that's not really Pokemon movement, is it? I think I do need to implement debouncing. I like how I am able to move diagonals, but let's do a debounce instead. I don't like how this feels. Player position, we don't want this anymore. We'll just have a reference to our player. I think this strategy makes a lot of sense, or it makes more sense. Set position for player, and then we'll just hard code this like vector to 0. Yeah, something about this doesn't feel right. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not gonna watch the video on stream. Sorry. Mostly for fear of copyright strike. I guess I could do this. Hold on. Oh, and also, turn it off. And also, don't look at my recommends. So it's set at 23. Oh, one of those. Okay. So it just kind of spawns that out of nowhere. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, don't panic. As long as you don't panic by all the bullets, you'll probably be okay. But that's kind of how they get you with a lot of these bullet hell games, is that oh, here's a bunch of bullets coming at you. Can you figure out where they're going, right? So you start getting nervous. Start getting a little bit of stress, a little bit of strain after getting to this point in the level. I don't know. Start trying to play it safe, trying to act more on instinct, and that's how they get you. Yeah. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying though. That's right. Player's given a warning. I'm gonna do that. That's what I'm saying. It's like the logic. You can already get a head start by reading the thing that I gave you, right? You won't be able to copy and paste, but that's something you really shouldn't do in too many circumstances anyways, unless you absolutely know how something works. Or if it's already bundled as a library. Let's see. Private floats, and then we'll call this debounce. Yeah, don't copy and paste as a principle. Detrimental to learning, yes, very much so. Unless it's something that's very, very difficult, but something that doesn't make any sense to actually learn how it works, right? Now, what things are those? I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'll admit there are certain things I do copy and paste sometimes. And it's like, it does a thing, with regex. How does the regex work? I have no idea. Or we do some like really fancy sorting algorithm. How does it work? I can follow along. I don't really know why they do make some of the decisions they do, but I do trust that it's faster. Should I do? I wouldn't be dang hard. Get the way I want it to. That'd be good. Well, see, that's the thing, is that it'll never be the way you want it to, right? It's a constant. Just a constant thing that you need to go against. Where that's the thing about like game development, is that it's never the way you want it to be. There's always a few more things that you could tweak, which is why game jams are good, because it forces you to stop. Debounce max. So we'll debounce at like 0.1, I guess. Is this how you do private constants? I don't remember. Just do like that. I'm pretty sure all private variables, this is how you're usually supposed to do it. So you underscore and then just camel case it. I don't remember how you're supposed to do it for constants, but that's probably okay. So debounce. So instead of doing this weird distance 2 thing, we'll just do here. Oh, and then we'll have to do private bool can read input, can move, no, can read input, sure, true. I heard you should get constant outside feedback. I never tried it myself, but hey. Well, you could always just stream it and then just get a lot of people in chat judging you for your code quality. The jam seems really competitive, seems big. Oh yeah, well, I'm mostly just doing it so that I have time to do it. I don't think I'll rank very well. Kind of like in the Ludum Dare. Didn't rank too well either. Kind of over my ranking though. I did rank pretty highly in humor, but yeah, last GitHub game jam. Yeah. All these GitHub stuff are huge, right? Because I think there's also a prize pool, isn't there? Or is there no prize pool? I forget. Oh, they'll highlight your things on the GitHub blog. Yeah. So it's basically the same as the Ludum Dare, right? Except the Ludum Dare only had 3,000 entries, while this one has 69 nice entries. So if not can read inputs, then we'll debounce. So debounce counter plus equals delta. If debounce counter is greater than or equal to debounce max, then we'll do debounce counter is equal to 0 f, and then can read input is equal to true. Else so can read inputs. Can read input is equal to false, which means we'll start debouncing. Something about this algorithm feels bad, but I don't know. Like, this doesn't look right to me. We'll get around to it later. Player tile position is equal to plus equals our intended movements. Yeah, okay. If it is, at least if I reach high in rank, I'll be happy to know people like the game. Yeah, it's not only good, but other FOSS engines get some examples. Yeah. Make a bug character in the game, make the player say bug off. Nice pun. Yeah. I think it's better to go into game jams not having too many expectations about how well you do, especially if you're working solo. Because just know that there is no team size limit. So even in the Ludum Dare one, I think my only goal was to rank higher. Well, was to one, if I could, break into the top 100. Spoilers, I didn't. But number 2 was to do better than my last placement in the Ludum Dare, which I did. So we can look at my shame if we want to. LD Jam. Look at this. So overall, 221st, which is better than my other one, which I think was only 500th. 31st in humor though. But, you know, the less expectations you go into these kind of things, especially if they have like teams of people working on them, the better you'll be, because there's less stress, right? You're just doing it for your own benefit, for your own learning. And then if, you know, you happen to rank highly, then that's just an unexpected bonus. Something like that. Is it AAA company enters the game? I don't know. Did you also see that this one, the makers, Paradox Interactive, is doing a game jam as well? I was considering doing this one, but I don't know anything about I don't know anything about Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. I only know a little bit about, I think, 3rd edition, because my roommate used to play a little bit of the tabletop. And then there's also just, you know, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, which I know also a little bit about. So this is like an actual AAA kind of whatever. But you do have to buy the booklet if you want to join. But I don't really play tabletop games. Anyways, let's give this a try. I think they'll miss the deadline TBH. It depends, right? I think if the biggest problem with how big companies work is that or I guess the biggest problem with how big companies work is that they lots of bureaucracy. So if they can get around that by you know, if they can somehow figure out their bureaucracy problem, then they'll probably do pretty well. I guess that's a very big if, though. I don't know. That looks okay. I can't tell. I can't tell if it looks okay or not, but I guess it feels okay. Would you want the debounce on every single input? I don't know. Can I have an inner region, by the way? How does C# work? So this is region, debounce. That's not how you spell debounce. Debounce. And region. Oh, nice. Do you have info about the Godot 4 alpha date, or just build it yourself? Right now it's just build it yourself if you want to access the pre-alpha. I heard like 2 weeks ago it was supposed to release in 2 weeks. Although they did just have, I saw a tweet from the lead dev that the what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Oh, there was a big merge. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Bumsy. Yeah. The GLES 3.0 thing. Yeah, that's probably causing a lot of problems, a lot of delays. So I would think it's probably coming out in like a month, the alpha, and then they'll just do like a bunch of alphas after that. Kind of like how one of their developers has been releasing pre-alpha builds somewhat consistently. But, you know, like I've done Godot 4 a few times on stream already, right? So it's broken. It completely crashed my desktop a few times. So Probably not quite ready for prime time, if I had to guess. Not even ready for just regular time. The glow position does not equal move to position. Then we'll do, you know, next animation is equal to Overworld unit animations. We'll just do this for now, right? We can do a more specific check later. So right now, this if statement does not take into account direction. It just takes into account, are we moving or are we not? So just to see if the idea is good, because it's really easy to verify. I think that looks okay, actually. It doesn't actually stop, though. Because it lerps, but it doesn't get into the correct range for it. Very good. Should we include that? I don't know how stable it will be. It delays the alpha by a few weeks or a month. It's totally worth that time. Just that merge. I don't know. I think the nice thing is that it maintains support for people with you know, potato processors, which I get. You know, not everyone can get new equipment. And I think it's also okay that the OpenGL stuff in Godot 4 doesn't support 3D. Because it's like, if you are doing 3D, you're probably also running a modern processor, or at least modern enough to support Vulkan. Like, if your processor doesn't support Vulkan, then you're probably using something from like the early 2010s, which is ancient in computer time. It's not about that, it's about mobile. Is it? I thought the thing was that some people just couldn't support Vulkan on their dev machines. And that's why they merged it, so that everyone could still use Godot 4.0. Yeah, not all modern processors supports Vulkan. That's what I thought. Is it not? So global position dot distance to distance to. I don't think I'm wrong, but it's possible that I am. Vulkan's a GPU thing. Could also be your GPU. Could also be your GPU. I don't know. It's one of those things. GPU is still technically a processor, also technically true. It's greater than or equal to 0.1 f. So your distance to your move to position is greater than 0.1. Yes. Otherwise, we move to an idle state and then we can figure out which way we're moving afterwards. All right, that's pretty jank. Is greater than 0.2, I suppose. Hold on. 0.5, right? Isn't a processor its many? We'll do this. 0.8, and then here we can start figuring out which direction we're moving in. So let's see. We can do a switch case for the idle animation, and then for this one, we'll just do, it's just an if statement, I guess, right? So it's, or we'll get the difference between the global position and our move to position. So this is our, that's tough actually, hold on. How would you want to figure out which way that you're moving? So it should be the first direction that you input. And I do want this to work for all kinds of units, not just the player. So I can't just listen to your input here and then just log that. cores, not many processors, one processor with a lot of cores. So like inside, it's okay. Now that you sound like a idiot once, now you're qualified to become a streamer. So there's an algorithm here. So in order to have this move correctly, and then also like modify the sprites in a reasonable fashion, what you would want to do is, because I'm also not storing I don't want to store your actual input, because I need this to also work for just random inputs as well. I guess it's just your the first difference that you possibly have biased towards down, up, right, left. I should have a doctorate. Title and streaming, it sounded like an idiot as a qualifier. Title and streaming. It might be a thing, right? Isn't that just called sociology? Got him, dude. I suppose I can't talk since I also don't have a STEM degree. Didn't study STEM whatsoever. I'll be right back. I'm gonna refill my drink. Don't get lost along the way. Hello, I'm back. Make a function that accepts the controller type. I don't really have a... Yeah, I do have a thing, yeah. I suppose at this point I should just stop doing it like this. I think I wanted to have a more separated area of concerns. Right, so all the controller stuff is handled at the... I guess the level layer. But that's just making it too hard for me to actually like do anything with. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna, if I change it to this, so overworld unit, overwrite that. So we can make it so, boom, boom, boom. This does accept some sort of function that determines like I don't know, some sort of controller. Yeah. That modifies the facing direction. Yeah. Man. I don't know. I feel like I can still make this work. I feel like I can still make this work. My reverse engineering project, I think I'm having a mental breakdown right now. I thought I figured it out, but then the stupid number 15, it broke the algorithm I thought would work. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. It's not an actual value. Or there's a lot more garbage in there than you think there is. Take it from someone who's had to maintain all kinds of APIs that are just filled with garbage. But because you can't, because we're working with microservices, and then of course, whatever you work with professionally kind of bleeds back into your personal projects, right? It's like you don't want to change your API, or you don't want to change your responses too much, otherwise it might break other parts of your program. It would work if I had to add 1 to 15. Number 15 gives me the result I thought would be from 16. I don't know. Sounds like a lot of number mumbo jumbo. Actually, this is okay. This is okay. This is okay. The only problem that isn't okay is this part right here, which is choosing the animation. So we can do boom, boom, boom. We can just do a really quick calculation for, I guess, the facing direction. Yeah, yeah, I think. So we can, let's add an enum. So it's facing direction.cs. I don't know if that's like a good name or not. Namespace. Boom, entities, units. That's it. Public enum facing direction should be plural, because that's how I generally name all my things. So let's rename this. Or actually, no. Isn't like enums are supposed to be singular, not plural? Am I dumb? Whatever, we'll just be consistent. Wait for version 2, I'm gonna wait enough since I watch anime. Waiting for new anime seasons to come out is pain. This I do know for certain. Which is why I no longer watch anime, now I just read a lot of manga. So this is, we'll do north, south, east, west. Cool. Overworld unit will now have a facing direction. So we'll make it public, why not? Public facing directions. That sounds... That doesn't sound right, but okay. Facing directions. Get set equal to facing directions none. I don't know, that doesn't sound right. That's okay. Baka. I am very dumb. I am very dumb. Just like today at work. So I'm not allowed to actually poke the development cluster. We all had to run the cluster locally on our own machines. And so when trying to set up the development cluster on my local machine, right? Which, by the way, is ridiculous. Requires like 18 gigs of RAM just to run it very slowly. I was wondering why the cluster wasn't coming up. Pinged a few people. And they're like, I don't know, have you tried restarting it? And I was like, alright, I can try restarting it. Check the cluster, or check the status of Docker on my machine. Wasn't running. So that would explain a lot of things. Also, very, like, confused me a lot, because I was getting logs, but wasn't able to spin up any containers. But the logs were still saying, like Docker error, and I was like, alright, seems like an error with my, Docker stuff. But no, the logs were just lying to me. It was technically a Docker error, as in, like, Docker wasn't running. Sure. Yeah. Nyan. Oh. So facing directions. Boom, boom. So then here, if our global position distance to our move to position is greater than this value here, then we'll do something like this. And so we'll need to recalculate our... Alright, south, by the way. So here we recalculate whenever you move. Hold on, wait a minute. No. We leave it at none so that we know when to recalculate. And at the very end of this, when we set our animation to idle, then we zero out our facing direction to just none. Right? Yeah. So we read in our facing direction here. So this part is easy. So we switch. How do you do a switch in C#? You need parentheses. Yes. Facing directions. Switch on this. Then case. Facing direction. North. That's pretty easy. Is this how you do switch case in C#? I always forget. Switch case C#. Yeah, sure. Or is it called select? No, it is switch case. Yeah. Wait. Yes. Yes, this is how you do it. Seems correct. Winky face. Oh good, a winky face. So next animation will equal Overworld. This is north. Please, don't do it. Ah! Control cannot follow out a switch from final. Oh, okay, yeah. So I need like a default, right? So default. Next animation is equal to, we'll just default to idle south. Do I need a break? What is it? Control cannot fall through from one label, case to another. What? Break. Aha! What's your problem? Cannot fall out of... I forgot you need to have a break statement. In Golang, you don't need a break statement. That's one of the downfalls of writing in just a million different languages. All right, so we'll want to have south be the last one, and then just fall through to default. There we go. I actually don't really like the fall through pattern, but it is like the standard. If you don't use fall through, you'll get all kinds of snide remarks on your pull requests. I'm not salty about it. Solution seems simple. Use only one language. Absolutely not. My only selling points as a programmer is that I'm able to do all kinds of things. All languages are equally bad to me, so it doesn't make me feel bad. Assembly? Is that a new keyboard? Could you tell it was a new keyboard? Is it from the sound, or is it from how poorly I'm typing? It is a new keyboard, though. It is a new keyboard. It is a Tokyo 60. Bad to me or bad in my hands? It's bad in my hands. Right, so this is the keyboard I'm using right now. It's not exactly this one, but it's close. It's a different colorway. And then this is the keyboard I used to use. Preonic. I think I've showed this to you before, I think. Don't go to Google Shopping. So I used to use one of these. So this one, apparently it's like the Apple II layout, which I kind of like, but I used to use one of these. So you can see that the biggest difference between how the keys are laid out is that all of the keys on this one are just straight up and straight across, or just straight up, straight down, right? Whereas this one is a more traditional staggered layout. So that's kind of what's messing with me right now. Is that I'm used to just pushing my fingers like up and down, whereas now I need to get used to like typing on a regular keyboard again. But the switches feel really nice. I like the switches, and I like how I guess, reconfigured the keyboard. So, you know, you have, I've mapped this to be an additional function key, so I have WASD to move, along with the Apple II style, I guess, up and down. So this is up, this is left, this is right, and this is down, just on the side. So doing that kind of stuff is nice. It sounds like Topre, but apparently not. No, it's not Topre. They are Holy Panda switches. Yeah, I've come around to using just I've come around to using non-clicky switches. So only tactile switches. So I used to have clicky switches. I think one of my keyboards has clicky switches, it has Cherry MX Greens. But I think now that I type, or I don't usually wear headphones anymore, the clicky switches are a bit too loud. But if you're wearing headphones and you want to hear yourself type, clicky switches are the way to go. Not wearing headphones, I can see why people don't like them. It's because they're so loud. Yeah, but the Holy Pandas, any of the switches that aren't like from a big name manufacturer, so big name manufacturers for switches, so Topre is one of them. I don't actually know if that's Topre is how you're supposed to pronounce it. Cherry is another one, and Kali. I don't like non-clicky switches. You don't like tactile? So you use like linears? That's crazy. Linear switches feel really bad to me. It's like it feels like the key is broken. Like I can deal with it. Like even typing on like a butterfly keyboard, so I have a Mac to my side. Like at least that has like a bump to it. So I like that. So okay, by the way, this is where we're calculating the position. So if it's, actually this is not correct either, right? We'll always want to recalculate our facing direction if we are moving. Wait, no. We'll want to recalculate here. So this is our vector 2, just our difference is equal to global position. No, it's our move to position minus our global position. And then if our thing is none, then that means that we just take the first direction possible. I like total silent, non-linear. Well, no, they are linear, right? Oh, no, okay, yeah, you're using dampeners on your like tactile switches then, right? So you put like an O-ring or maybe even double up on the O-rings, is that what you're saying? You tactile, I don't want much sound. Damn, yeah. Yeah, you're talking about like Topre, and then you can also put dampeners on your, like AKA O-rings, right? Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, and there's also like specific types of other like tactile switches that are manufactured to be pretty much silent. No, I like being able to hear myself type. There's the physical aspect of feeling the bump whenever you type. Whatever you type like this. But I think also, I like hearing the audio feedback. Because sometimes I'll type something. I'll be thinking about typing something, but then I'll think like, oh, did I type that wrong? It didn't sound correct. Oh yeah, I didn't hit one of the keys. That's kind of how I work. I don't know, because as mentioned previously, I don't really type with all my fingers. I only type with like 3 or 4 fingers on each hand. So like on my right hand, I usually type with my pinky, my middle finger, in my index finger. So the pinky is pretty much entirely for pressing shift. And my left hand is almost the same way, except I use my thumb to hit the spacebar. Keyboard is lubed and sounds nice. So here's the thing, it's actually not lubed. I guess some of the keys are just kind of weird, I guess, but it's not lubed. I don't know what's going on with it, but I think it's just like a manufacturing thing. But you can find the Holy Pandas. Not sponsored by Drop, by the way. Holy Panda switches. One of these. You can see that my profile picture for Drop is back when Dogecoin was still a meme and not worth actual money. Back in the better days. I think as soon as money gets involved in a lot of things, that's when they stop becoming fun. But yeah, these are expensive though. And then the QA, the quality control is also pretty bad on them, because on like my current keyboard, like 6 switches, well, I put in 6 switches, or no, I put in all the switches, right? But then 6 of them just kind of died like within the first day. Like they lost their tactile bump. I was like, what happened? Like I know what causes the tactile bump, so I could open up the switch and kind of like bend a little piece of metal that causes the bump, but I don't know. Something is weird about it. All right, so anyways, let's get back to business. Yeah, so yeah, they're $85 for like 70, but even then the QC is pretty bad. But they do feel really nice. Like these are probably like the best switches I've ever typed on. So Halo Clears also pretty good, but those are also a lot cheaper. And I think on those, I only had 2 switches fail on me. Still not too bad. Topre is. I've never typed on a Topre board, but also like, isn't it to like get like a Topre board, you need to buy? There's like the Happy Hacking keyboard that comes with, yeah. Or no, this is. Wait, no. I thought Real Force had other keyboards. No? Is this it? Like this is definitely the Topre layout. Anyways, I know that these are expensive. Only sold by one company. Yeah. Well, no, isn't there? There's a few different Topre boards that you can get. So the Happy Hacking keyboard, which is the Japanese one. So for like pretty much you have to buy an import, at least in the US. Those come with Topre, and then doesn't Real Force? Yeah, doesn't Real Force sell like a more standard layout with Topre switches? Real Force keyboard, yeah. Isn't it? Yeah. This doesn't look right. Is this Topre? Yeah, this is Topre. Oh, they have other layouts as well. I thought they only had the 10 keyless layout, but I guess they also have full size. Anyways, yeah, so the... or are you saying it's only Real Force who sells Topre switches? Could be. I hear Topre is nice. I hear Topre is nice. One of these days I'll get one, but I already have too many keyboards. I already have too many keyboards. Like, and now, right now, I actually have a keyboard for each of the computers I own. So, it's a bit too many. So the priority goes south, north, east, west. It's literally unmatched. I feel like literally does not mean what you mean it there. So I'll build my own keyboard. I think it'd be cool to build my own keyboard. Like I've seen some of the keyboard builds on mechanical keyboards, the mechanical keyboards subreddit, Like I like the keyboards that they have both like the knob, and they also have the little screen on it that tells you about the internal state of the keyboard. I want to get one of those. Like I don't know what I would use the knob for, but having the little display that's like, oh, like you're on this setting right now. It's like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. I think I have a keyboard build that I wanted to do. All right, let's get real distracted. Hackaday. Is it the Hackaday keyboard? I had something saved on my account there, but I need to find it again. But someone did like they had a PCB or something like saved, or they provided instructions and also had just provided the wafer file. Is that what they call it, a wafer? Is it the Tindy? Or no, is it Hackaday IO? Where's my account? Please, I would like to sign in. Ooh, okay. I don't remember what my my login is, so let's see if we can find it. Is it my Twitter? It is my Twitter. Hold on. What's my project list? My pages. I don't have any pages? Project lists. Like I have a profile here that also lists my school, which I should probably take off. Yeah, I don't know. Add a small screen and curve it like the IBM Model M. Yeah. Need knob joystick experience. Yeah, well, knobs, joystick. I think it'd be cool to have a joystick on a keyboard, actually. Like have it, oh, like, you know, like a joystick, instead of having like dedicated arrow keys, just have like a little joystick, probably like at the top of the keyboard, so you don't accidentally like hit the joystick all the time. That'd be kind of cool. I think that'd be kind of cool. I don't know about you. It would basically like be a trackball, but you know. Actually, no, but because it wouldn't be controlling your mouse. It would be controlling your arrow keys and stuff. I think I would be into that. Actually, is there a keyboard? Now I'm like just completely off topic. Keyboard with joystick. Well, like a joystick that controls your arrow keys. Negative thumbstick. Well, no, I'm saying more of like just like an arrow key replacement. Like you still have arrow keys, but then you also have a joystick on it. Like, oh yeah, I guess gaming keyboards have joysticks, right? Yeah. You basically have like a little macro pad. Yeah. Okay. I have a laptop style touch mouse at the bottom. Nice one, part. Yeah. Like I have one of these. Let me see if I can find it. I actually don't know where to find it, but it's a ThinkPad style keyboard, but with mechanical switches, and I thought that was really cool. Like I feel like I'm one of the few people that really like, or I guess one of the few younger people that really likes the track point nub, the track point nipple, if you will. Like that's one of the things I really like on ThinkPads, is being able to just like, you know, you don't have to move your hands if you want to move your mouse, and you don't have to control your trackpad with your thumbs, which I'm really bad at. All you gotta do is move your index fingers over to the nub, molest it a little bit, and then you can move your mouse around. I like that. And then you control of course you control clicking with your thumbs, but that's okay. No, but what I'm saying is something more akin to, I guess if I was building a keyboard, this is what I would do. Imagine J key is also a trackpad, but small. Ugh. I don't know about that. Well, what I was kind of imagining is, right, you have your board. You've kind of done the super off-center for whatever reason. I guess you would have, I guess, this layout. So it's similar to a 60%, right? Then you have your, I guess, a knob. I guess this would be your knob. This would be your knob. This, you could be like a joystick or another knob here. And then, I don't know, I guess some sort of readout here. And then these would just be additional buttons. 5 knobs minimum. Sounds like something your mother told me on Friday night. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that was uncalled for. See, there we go. So this is your knob, this is your nipple. And then this would be your WASD, basically. Or I guess it could also be your trackpad, I guess. I don't know, you could have, oh, you know, like a ThinkPad nub in the middle here, but then also have this be like your WASD. Ooh. Touch bar from, you know what? I know that I'm like in the super minority for this, but I do like the touch bar from MacBooks. Like, it's not bad. Like, it's, I don't press F5 all that often, so it's kind of like, I don't know. I like just having the things I usually use just on my touch bar, right? Like, especially as someone who is used to using like a 60% keyboard, like I have to press a function key anyways to hit, you know, F5, F1, whatever. So about additional modules you can plug into the back or side of the keyboard. Additional modules? I think the only, are you talking about like adding like a numpad or something, Feldy? Yeah, I unironically like the touch bar, but I realize that's an unpopular opinion. Additional modules? I have been thinking about getting a, I don't know. Like, you know the numpads that can also double as a calculator? I thought that might be kind of cool. I don't know how... Getting back on track, I need to think about this. Adding extra macros, a stream deck, split keyboard. Oh, no, I can't do split keyboard. I don't type correctly. Modular to what you need. Isn't that basically, that's basically like a 60% with like extra steps. That's basically like a 60% keyboard with like a, that also doubles as a USB hub, which I think some keyboards already do that. But I think they're 10 keyless usually. But absolutely not, I can't do split keyboards. Split keyboards would 100% mess up my typing, right? Because I type majority with my left hand. So I hit like, on a, I guess a US and an ANSI style keyboard, I hit everything from Y, H, and N with my left hand. Possibly more. And then I hit pretty much all the punctuation with my right hand somehow. So diff Y is less than 0. So we're trying to get south. So no, this would be more than 0. 0F. Then we'll do facing directions is equal to facing directions south, not north, south. Of course, it does need to be greater than 0 because we start drawing from the top left of the screen. Else, if diff y is greater than or less than 0f. What am I doing? They're awful when you do art and have one hand on the tab and one on the keyboard. Never used one, but I know writing unhealthy ways because of ergonomics. Is it bad when you need to use a mouse? Is it bad when you need to use the mouse? I've seen some people, like I've seen some setups on, you know, r/mechanical keyboards or mech. What's it called? Is it mechanical keyboards or mech keyboards? Reddit mechanical keyboards. Yeah, it's just mechanical keyboards. Yeah, I've seen some setups where they have a trackball in the middle of their split keyboard setup. And so they kind of do it like a laptop style, right? So they, you know, have the big Logitech trackball that they just kind of use their thumbs to manipulate. Yeah, I like using trackballs actually, but I like pretty much every single trackball I've used has gone bad within a year. Maybe it's because my hands are like really oily or something, but I don't know. I don't know. Like I had one of these. Let me open this in an incognito window so you don't find out where I live. Like I had one of these nice ones actually. Like this one was super sick, but it also broke in a year. And I know that you can get other ones from Elecom, and then also the Logitech trackballs are also pretty good. I don't like the mouse ones. I like the ones that just have it in the middle-ish, so I can kind of roll my palm on it, which is probably what causes the trackball to fail in the first place. It's because I'm rolling my palm on the mouse. Yeah, because when I use a mouse, I don't really claw grip. I'm more of like just a flat grip over it. My hand is as close to the desk as possible. Yeah, so I like trackballs, but I've never had one that lasted for a while. Whereas the current mouse that I'm using, which is a Logitech G600 from 4 plus 2 is 6 years ago, like it still works. A few of the keys kind of stick. So the G600 is an MMO mouse. Difference in X, so we go east-west, so greater than 0F. Directions is equal to facing directions east. And then we'll do a final else if. Well, I guess, no. We'll do a last else, which will be an error, because that should not happen. Very nice doing things like editing. The last 4 or 5 mouses were Logitech Razer. Their switches started to double click every time after 2 months of use. That's so bad. Logitech? Yeah. Logitech, well, Logitech and Razer. Well, I don't think Razer is considered to be a good brand, right? I think Razer is considered to be like, you know, if you're just starting to get into the hobby of like nice computer equipment, you'll get a Razer, right? That's the meme. Because Razer doesn't actually use, they don't use cherry switches anymore anyways, right? I think they used to use Kali switches, and now they just use their own switches, which are kind of bad. Because the QC on their switches is even worse. Somehow. I don't know. Or mouse by their switches, and how SteelSeries has its own switches. You mean mouse switches? Yeah, I think SteelSeries, I used to have a SteelSeries mouse as well. I think I still have it. It was a pretty good mouse. It never double clicked on me. Sometimes this mouse double clicks on me, but not usually. Message logs. This is a delegate. Isn't this public? Oh, yeah. App manager. Then we'll grab the static method. Log message. Invalid facing direction calculation. Like any other, I usually fix the double click issue myself, since it's been good since 5 months. How do you fix it? I think you would just need to take it apart, right? And then there's usually like some dust under it, or one of the springs goes bad. There's a few things, right? I don't know. I don't really trust myself to fix too many things anymore, though. Because I think when I tried to fix the, I tried to fix my last mouse, and then what I ended up doing was just ripping the entire thing in two. So that's, the mouse wasn't even that broken. But I just broke it. I'm a bit too impatient when it comes to mechanical stuff. So when it comes to woodworking, it's okay. Or I guess when it comes to like the woodworking stuff that I do, it's usually okay. Which is like, I don't know, sometimes like the door is broken, so I need to like unscrew the entire door. Cut up a wooden dowel, glue it back in place, and then screw it back into place. Now that was tough. That was tough, considering that you need to like basically pick up the entire door by yourself with one hand and then screw it back in. That was a fun time. Yeah. So if it's none, we go through this entire if statement. Otherwise, hold on. Else, I guess it's the same thing. No. Yes. So how do you change directions? I guess it doesn't matter, right? If we ever reset to 0, then we'll hit this one. There's a flaw in my logic here. Not logical. There's a dead skin in the switch and oxide in the contacts. So say that the static builds the sun on the mouse. I think it's just badly designed switches. Forgot the name. Omron. Yeah, no. I think it's yeah, it's just like some sort of debris, right? I think I agree with Feldy. That's usually it. You just need to be careful not to break any other parts. It's something. It's usually something. Like for example, I know why like this mouse is kind of broken because I've spilled drinks on it before, and now it started to stick. So I'm assuming if I like took it apart and like cleaned it, it would probably work a lot better. But I mean, it works right now, so. So this one kind of blindly takes the first one, but otherwise we'll want to this one's easy, this one's easy, but if we're still holding down a button, right? So if we go back to this, I think this will kind of work, by the way. Absolutely not. I guess we're not even playing animations anymore. That's okay. Am I getting any errors? No. So I've made a terrible mistake with my logic and how we're playing new animations. Oh, because we're not... hold on. We can fix this really quickly. So in the animation stuff... Wait. Hold on. I think I'm dumb. So this one, take it out. Overwrite. So facing direction, and then we also need to set the, I guess, the actual next animation as well. So this one will be idle east, idle west. Could probably make this a bit more optimized, shall we say. But the hard part, which I haven't solved for, is if you can completely come to a stop. Oh. Hold on. Wait a minute. What? I thought I solved this already, but maybe I didn't. So facing direction. So if you face any other direction rather than none. Okay. So this is where we reset. Facing direction. Oh, it's because we I see. I see. We can do else if. No. Hold on. If current animation is not this thing, we can grab all of this stuff, all this entire switch statement, and then just slap it into, no, because that's the idle animation stuff, right? Yeah, so I think I'll want to take out this one and then move it into, I guess, this entire giant block of just figuring out which animation we should be playing, right? It's the fact that this one's kind of out of order, so we need to move this into here, I think. Next animation, so this is correct. This one is still to do. This is a stub. To do, stub. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and also the fact is that when we're still moving, but we change direction, we're not able to change direction properly. And then I know that there's a good way of doing that. I've done this before. I just need to remember the process for doing it. I can tell you right now, it's probably not this. I think usually how I do it is I usually just assign a bias. Yeah. Just assign a bias to one of the directions. So there is no else. Yeah. So just do this, right? So bias towards north and south, and then east and west. Yeah, okay. This won't work until we recompile like this. So there is a way to run from the... Wait a minute. There is a way to run from here, but it doesn't trigger a recompile in Godot, which is unfortunate. Which is why I keep having to go back to Godot to test it, even though I do have a run configuration set. Well, I guess I could just do this, but it's kind of janky in how it works, right? Because it doesn't open it as my current window. Yeah, okay, so there's something wrong here. So you can see that it's biased towards south, up. But when we move left and right, we're not printing anything either, which is good. So biased towards south, north, then east and west. Basically, you want to face the camera as much as possible. Or face the camera or face away from the camera. You don't want to have a side profile. So that's usually how I do it. And boom, boom. Distance to our move position. Otherwise, we will switch to the idle animation. Now, why is this not working? Did I do this incorrectly? Also, I don't think I need to have a facing direction, right? As long as I just switch on the previous animation. I think this is wrong. Let it run for a little bit. See if we can pull it up. I guess we won't be able to pull it up from the Explorer. Yeah, see? What is this? What is this? I saw I was able to get... I was able to get a few other things. a few other animations besides this one, but now, like, when it starts, I'm able to get left and right, but now it's not. So there's a logical flaw in something I'm doing here. So like we clearly are changing stuff. I wonder if it's because of like the very small amount of drift that's occurring when we move upper, or when we move left or right. So if we do 0.1, so it needs to be greater than 0.1. Otherwise, we'll just default to whatever was there before. So don't change anything if we're not able to. Nope, this is still wrong. Am I crazy? I'm doing something wrong. So this is move south, blah, blah, blah. Facing direction, so if your Y is greater than 1, that means their move to position is that, yeah. So Y is greater than 1, then your move to position is, you are currently up here, you're trying to move down here, therefore your Y is greater than 1. Okay, so you start drawing from the top left. If your Y is less than 1, or less than 0.1, it means you're moving up in the negative direction. If your difference in X is greater than 0.1, that means you're moving east. And then I'm doing all of this correctly, right? And then this should be the current animation to string, and I'm not getting any errors either. So this is, hold on, is it because these are just wrong? No, that's correct. Move east, move west, move south, move north. Yeah, that's correct as well. We could just put a breakpoint, or just try to like introspect on whatever it is that's running right now, right? So it's running. Not really able to debug it right now. The easiest way would be to put a print statement somewhere. Oh, you know what? I'm overtime, unfortunately, and I do need to wake up early tomorrow. Cause the new coworkers want to talk with me. Want to have a meeting. It is crazy. I have. Some of them are just gonna be like up super late in their time. So it'll be like 8 p.m. for them. Well, it'll be 8 a.m. for me. So, I usually start my day at like 9:30 or 10. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. I will be live tomorrow from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern time, working on probably this again. Not this specifically, but the game jam stuff. Hopefully I'll figure out what exactly I'm doing. Otherwise, we'll just kind of ignore it and we'll get to the more fun part, which is the, I guess, more RPG-esque systems. So anyways, hit it with a question mark in Discord. There we go. Have the bot just tell you where you can go. Give the channel a follow if you haven't already. I work pretty consistently on all kinds of things. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern time, and also on Wednesdays from 9 to 11. Have a Discord where I have answer all kinds of software questions. So I have lots of open source stuff. So this is open source, OpenCBHG. Wrote this in Godot. This is also written in Godot. Linked to Twitch chat and Twitch pub sub, aka channel point rewards, and also technically to subscriptions and follows, but it's not implemented yet. But it's all free and open source. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Let's find someone to raid, I guess. Take it easy, Bumdy. Who else is doing Godot? Let's find someone who's doing Godot. Yeah, let's raid Wyatt. I feel like I raid Wyatt a lot. But I always feel kind of weird raiding a channel that has more viewers than me. But anyways, take it easy. And have a good night. Bye-bye. Actually, no, we're... It takes 10 seconds to raid, so you're stuck with me for a little while longer. So how you doing? Oh, okay. Anyways, get ready to get sent. I will be live tomorrow from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Goodbye.